Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Play yet another no-name MAME game. Today's no-name MAME game is, of course, Yosaku to Donbei. Is that a crow carrot? Mystery points. Oh, those are always the best. You just always know that it's gonna get you out of it's trying to mess you out of your money. And I don't know what's up, but this game evidently has a very delayed credit entry feed. I mean, I can just imagine some kid somewhere just putting in like 70 credits and then being like, oh, it finally updated. And then this credits goes to 70. Kid's like, what have I done with my life? So, even though it doesn't look like one at all, you wouldn't think, but it's actually shoot 'em up, and on goes the auto-fire. Well, that death was not in vain, for we have auto-fire, well, yeah, this was, oh, that's working modestly better, alright. See, those alternate modes of auto-fire do have a purpose, but... Wow, okay, I hope that probably hurt you more than it hurt me, although it hurt me a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the warning said that the sound wasn't perfect, but nope, they got the spaceship sound down. Although the spaceship does sound a little bit similar to Space Invaders. Okay, a little exactly similar. So even though it doesn't look like any shoot 'em up ever, this game is actually a shoot 'em up. I'm assuming you're supposed to shoot all of the crows out of the tree, but it could just be some sort of endurance fest, just because it doesn't seem like... I mean, thanks for that. The crows are just flying around, they're just teleporting around randomly, so it doesn't seem like you're making a lot of progress. Oh crap, did they just move down? That's completely against the premise of the game. I mean, I can understand the birds invading your tree, but I don't think the birds are going to invade your space. Also, evidently, the birds have a nice, coherent pattern. Jeez. And then I'm not entirely sure what those little stars are. Don't think too hard about that. Let's just say it's a pretty good fruit tree. And of course, we've got our friend there. I first thought that he was going to be like some sort of enemy or something, but he's just smacking the tree like a soldier. I mean, like a trooper, and it's like, maybe you shouldn't do that. I feel like after a while it's kind of implied. I mean, the birds are probably angry. The birds are angry. Angry. You really think this game, it means angry birds in Japanese? If it does, I'm gonna be sad. Just more than a little bit sad. Oh, I wonder... if we get past the tree to unlock the kingbird, that would be interesting. Alas. I'm beginning to wonder too, just because the birds can... oh, what a cutscene. They had cutscenes back in the day, and they took just as long and were just as frustrating. If not longer. So, I mean, the birds, they're moving around, but I'm wondering if, like, they're just always there, they just flash out of existence every now and then. Really? I mean, okay, looking at the birds, well, okay, they're not really moving left to right like a la Space Invaders, which, okay, but, I mean, for the rest of everything... I mean, it's kind of like all those clone systems where it's like they just kind of change around the sprites, but then still have the same gameplay. Although, usually the gameplay or the sprite appearance change isn't quite as creative as this. I mean, you took the whole concept of Space Invaders and completely reimagined it to a guy who's, well, hunting birds in a tree? But, I mean, that's like above and beyond as far as cloning goes. That earns you, maybe not necessarily a Medal of Merit, just because you are kind of ripping someone off, but at least a kind word. That earns you a kind word. What? There were no birds there. How is... So, is it not even the birds that are attacking, but the tree itself? Is the tree inextricably linked with the birds? And then... want to fight the king carrot crow. But is the tree linked with the birds, and it's just any loss the birds feel, the tree needs to compensate? I don't know. I mean, this is just one of those incomprehensible games. I mean, just the more you look at it, the less and less sense it makes. Of course, after a while, you kind of will get bored. I mean, it's a basic game, but even more than that, there are long stretches of time where you just can't do anything. I mean, the birds flip in and out of existence. So you can't hit them like every other second. So that's just a lot of seconds wasted after a while. It adds up. So I don't know. It's not a very good gameplay mechanic. If any of you at home are taking notes, I guess, then just always have your player be doing something. Like, just always have them be engaged. Don't just have a couple of minutes where it's like they're just looking at an empty space waiting for a crow to come back. Yeah, just write down those words, like, almost exactly. People will figure it out. Jeez. I mean, well, okay, I mean, in comparison to Space Invaders is kind of superior just because, like, the aliens are always there. And while you may not necessarily be able to hit them, that's usually just because you're not... that's on you. Well, okay, sometimes they're, like, hiding behind the blocks. And, come on. Don't you want to give up the ghost? They're just hiding behind blocks. But I mean, if you were smarter about it, you could like pop out and get them, or you could just wait a couple of seconds. Like, you can always see them at least. Finally, let's see what level 2 is like. Suspiciously similar to level 1. That's really a gem. I mean, I'm totally expecting a crow carrot boss. That would be one thing that would really kind of set it apart from Space Invaders. But alas, what a letdown. Oh, can they not even hit me? Really? Let's try the other side. I mean, gosh. You always gotta check the corners of every game. You never know when your player character might be secretly invincible. Also, too, that would cause havoc in arcades, because you could just start a game, have the character... In fact, all you have to do is put a quarter in, press start, not do anything, and then you've basically messed everything up. Well, I guess not really messed everything up, but you kind of get the point. Huh. So, I mean, aside from, like, the sparse crow carrot boss, there's not much of a intro screen or anything, a track screen. Huh. Well, that was an interesting experience. Maybe a bit of a total letdown. Crow carrot boss, I blame you personally. But, sometimes that's just how the crow bird poop falls. And on that note, this cat's got a scat.